welcome to another installment of the Fragments of Silicon reviews. Up this week, we have two games. I'll be honest, I was tempted to review this game last week, mainly because this is a short one. Like, despite it having a very long title, it's Bolt Riley, a reggae adventure chapter 1.
Well, and chapter 1 is part of why it's so short. Not
Yeah,
all of it, though, it sounds like.
Well, I mean, that is the primary reason why, I won't make any bones about it. This game is about 2 hours long if you don't know what you're doing, and if you do know what you're doing, it's going to be vastly, vastly shorter. Like, it's like, even for episodic gaming, this was on the short side. Like, so, putting that aside for the moment, the adventure part of the moniker is not just, you're going on an adventure. It's an actual adventure game, like point and click mechanics. If you can see the trailer here. This was a one-coder, so you get the trailer for this one just as well, because I think we could seriously show off the entire game in a review. Like, well, there's a video on YouTube that's just an hour long.
Jesus.
Yeah. Like, anyway, going back to the title, yeah, you play as Bolt Riley, an obvious homage to Bob Marley, aka the only reggae artist most people will know who are not fans of like the genre.
Yep.
Admittedly, I'm not a reggae connoisseur, so I can't speak to how accurate the depictions of reggae are being shown here. But what I do know is this is actually coming from people, I believe this is coming from Jamaica.
Mm.
This is actually coming from people who are familiar, intimately familiar with the reggae lifestyle, because it's not just about reggae music. It's about reggae music in the 70s, at least according to the PR materials here. The game starts out with its prologue, which is actually its epilogue. That is to say, you get to
wow, how did we end up in this situation? Let's do a flashback that's the entire length of a standard adventure game.
That is exactly what is going on here. Only in this case, you only get to see, literally the first part of it. The game ends with you, Bolt Riley, heading to Kingston. Or heading to another part of Kingston. It's like, I'm trying to remember offhand, might have been the outskirts. The point is, you're heading to the capital city to find some guy to achieve some objective. In terms of mechanic, it's bog standard adventure game stuff. In fact, it's a bit on the simple side. There's pretty much 3 icons. Take, talk, and use item.
Which is what a lot of adventure games come down to anyway.
Mm.
Right.
Well, and I think this thing's mentioned it has a mobile version, so that's probably part of the reason why.
Possibly. It is available on mobile devices, iOS, Android, in addition to the PC version. And, in terms of production values, they're okay for the most part. It
looks like it was animated by Adult Swim. I know it's not, but that's what it kind of looks like artwork-wise.
Yeah. Except for, the voice acting. At least the English voice, I'm not sure about other languages, but, yeah, the English voice acting is not so much atrocious as there was no attempt to sync up the voices with the lips.
Mm.
That can be awkward.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty Bush League. It's like I get that they might not have been able to have the resources because this is a pretty bootstrapped game. It's a Kickstarter project, actually. Yeah, it's cleared its goals. Not too high, but it's it still became a thing. Let's see, yeah, $32,104 out of a 31,668 goal. And yeah, it's like so. And the game this part got a full release not too long ago. It's been in early access for a long time, from what I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
So
are the other parts in early access now, or
that's the other thing. I don't see any hide nor hair of Chapter 2 or Chapter 3 or however many more chapters this is supposed to be. Only the first chapter is available. I mean, the game ends with the teaser for Chapter 2, but I mean that's kind of the rolling the risk on this project. It's only got the first chapter. And I will tell you right now, the first chapter on its own is so not worth it. Like, even if you're into reggae... Oh, right. I did almost neglect to mention a specific mechanic this game has.
Yeah, there's a music game type thing, isn't there?
Well, if there is, it's not here. It's actually, you get to use concepts as your inventory as well.
Ah.
It's like ideas. Which is actually kind of important for, like, basically the showcase puzzle of the game. I will say, on the other hand, that puzzle also had a lot of brute forcing. Like, the solution was literally to pick about every option, and then you solve it.
Sounds just pretty early Phoenix Wrighty.
Yeah, it's like, I'll be honest, I don't think that's ever been good puzzle design. Like, that's more the mark of last resort, and it's like if you just trying to get through the game via the mechanics, and that's actually how it works. In fact, that's kind of what took me so long to complete this game, if I'm being honest, is because, okay, did I miss something? It's like, I didn't think that was the actual solution until I just went through the motions.
Really? I'm supposed to call the parrot for a witness?
I'm like, don't tempt him. But yeah, honestly, there's not a lot to say about this game because there's just not a lot of game here. And it's like, I understand, judging from what I can see here, there's not a lot in terms of muscle power or anything. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this was a one-man affair on the development side. The game is credited to just one person, Oded Sharon. I'm not sure if that's Sharon or Sharon. At any rate, the other big sticking point is the price. The game is $5. I'm like,
this is a low price, but it is also a really low game. In terms of amount.
Yeah, it's like $5 is just a little too much from what I could recommend, simply on the basis of a Chapter 1.
Yeah, if it gives you all upcoming chapters too, that's an entirely different thing if more actually come out.
Right, but that's the kind of thing that hasn't been determined yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, on the basis of the standalone, it's like, I gotta say, give it a pass until, it is, it is either on sale. Honestly, I think $3 is probably the good price point here.
It sounds like it's got an interesting-ish story, and certainly it is a story that has not been done precisely by adventure games in this context a ton of times. So
no, it's
just not much yet.
Yeah, the premise is the most interesting it's got going. It's just things barely get going before it ends, and I'm like, I have no idea on the state of a chapter 2. So, taking this as an examination of a standalone title. Oh, like if this is it, just pass. Like there's not enough here. Like it is literally meant to be the opening chapter of a story, bar none. So it'll be like all right-ish, I guess. Like there's nothing wrong with the game. It's just there's supposed to be more of it in more chunks. Yeah, that's kind of how the episodic gaming world operates. And I guess I should comment on the sound. As far as the actual music, the reggae is I hesitate to use the word generic, but it's all instrumental. It's all. It's not. It's probably nothing reggae fans would recognize. At least that's what I got here.
Do you like reggae? You'll like the music. Do you not like reggae? You won't like the music.
Yeah, I'm like, admittedly, some of the depictions of, people here, I don't know, kind of veered into stereotype, but I'm like, this is apparently made by people who are into this, so I don't know. It's a thing I'd rather sidestep, since, like I said, this is kind of outside my wheelhouse in a lot of regards. I don't really know reggae, I don't really know Jamaica, but I do know adventure games. So, and I can say this is a decent indie, small project, thing that's hopefully gets more installments, because that's really what the entire experience is predicated on. And yeah.
Has the Kickstarter or like their website mentioned anything about chapter 2 yet, or?
Well, let me see. Let me check the updates. Oh, okay. So it looks like Bolt Riley on iOS and Android also wears chapter 2. Okay. So let's see. The future of Bolt Riley. Personal Patreon. Okay, so it looks like it's going to continue, but yeah, here's kind of the core of the conundrum. Chapter 2 is looking to happen, but it's like this chapter 1 game took a lot of time. Like it was in early access for a year apparently.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I think that's the sign of a one-man shop there. Like, so once again, it's hard to come down on a project like this, but it's also I have to review stuff based on what's there and not what might be in the future. Like, so we'll see what happens. But until then, I'm like if you're interested in the subject matter, give it a go. I'm like, just be, and if the short run time actually appeals to you because you don't necessarily like adventure games, take it from that angle. Otherwise, just give it a pass for the moment. Like, see how things shape up. Because I think another thing to mention here is apparently like the future of the game series isn't really tied to the sales of this chapter. It's tied to to a Patreon. So yeah.
So basically, if you're interested in more on furthering this go to their Patreon instead of buying this out right now.
Yeah, let me. Here we go. Yeah, it's patreon.com. Hang on, that's not helping. There we go. Yeah, Sound Guy. Like, interesting. Like, anyway, that'll about do it from me. Like, any other thoughts from you guys?
Not from my end.
I didn't really play it, but it sounds like, I guess, an okay idea. Just would be nice for there to be more of it, and I guess if it's one guy working on it, it'll be a while.
Yeah. I guess I should also. I'm hesitant to note the ethnicity here, but yeah, looking at the Patreon page, this is made by a white guy, so that may, no pun intended, color some perceptions here.
I don't know if he's a white Jamaican guy. He could still be Jamaican.
Fair enough. I'm just like...
I don't know if he is. I'm just saying if he is.
Yeah, I'm like, I am not sure. I'm not sure myself, but just something to float out there. Because, that gets into the whole cultural appropriation debate. Like, which is actually far more complex than in the scope of a humble review here. Anyway, that'll about do it for Bolt Riley here. Stay tuned after the break, as we will be talking about the game we interviewed about on Wednesday, sort of, in the sense that the game still isn't up on Steam again. Like, don't know when that...
I checked earlier today.
Yeah, it's like, don't know when it's getting resolved, but we still have the Steam copy, so we're still able to play the game even with it being delisted or banned or whatever.
Yeah, thankfully Steam is pretty good about that usually.
Yeah, but anyway, stay tuned. We'll be reviewing A Kiss for the Petals, Maidens of Michael, and I hope you look forward to it. Good gaming and all.